Who is he?
Hey
Ylber.
everyone,
You got bios
on behalf of the Special Competitive Studies Project, I have the great privilege of welcoming you to this fifth exchange on innovation and national security. I will be very brief this morning, but I wanted to share 3 points with you, if I may. First, with this being our first event in Austin, I wanted to share a little bit about who we are for those of you who may have not come across our work previously. So the Special Competitive Studies Project is an American nonprofit, nonpartisan project. Our mission is simple, really, to make recommendations that strengthen America's long-term competitiveness as AI and other emerging technologies are reshaping our economy, our society, and our national security. Our purpose is to ensure that America is positioned and organized to win the technological and geopolitical competition that we're facing today. In other words, what we do is public policy philanthropy. We attempt to come up with the best policy recommendations. We attempt to build relationships between innovators and national security leaders, between research labs and financial institutions, and between like-minded international organizations. And we attempt to convene the pioneers and leaders of innovation and national security. Second, I want to thank you all for being here. I know there are tremendous events happening at all time, so really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us this morning. And from our part, I can promise you that we've done our best to try and put together a robust agenda with great speakers, and we've spared no effort, resource, as well as attention to detail to make sure that this event is worthwhile from your time. Now, also what makes this event, this exchange special, and our series of exchanges really, is that it was inspired by and seeks to advance the legacy of Dr. Ash Carter, the 25th U.S. Secretary of Defense. For it was Dr. Carter who really had a unique vision on how to bridge innovation and national security. So that remains really the purpose of our series of exchanges, to bring together pioneers and champions of innovation, like all of you, from the government, the private sector, and the scientific community, to examine how we can collaborate better to advance both innovation and national security. Now, let me also thank our incredible speakers. I think we have about 25 speakers today, including our moderators. They are some of our nation's foremost and our allied foremost defense leaders, private sector innovators, as well as successful entrepreneurs and academic researchers. So we're very grateful to have them here. Most of them have traveled to Austin to be with us today, so we are very grateful for them joining us today. Also want to thank the team SCSP for putting this together, our defense team, particularly Luke, who really conceived of and organized much of this, our ops team, and particularly Sylvia for planning and organizing all the details and the logistical aspects of this, the multimedia team for keeping you informed on how the agenda was shaping, and our leadership team, of course, with Ylber, who had the vision and the energy to start the exchange series, as well as bring us to our fifth one now. And then lastly, we would like to thank Dr. Eric Schmidt, whose generosity really enables this exchange and SCSP. It was Dr. Ash Carter who recruited Dr. Schmidt, back then as the CEO of Google, to become the inaugural chair of the Defense Innovation Board. And 9 years later, Dr. Schmidt still thinks that this is the most meaningful work that he has done and then continues to do, and he remains committed to helping our government prevail in this competition, as you also heard from the video. My third and final point this morning is to emphasize the theme of this exchange, which is AI and autonomy for national security. We all know that AI is rapidly advancing, and we'll hear from some of our speakers, and becoming more pervasive across our society, our economy, and our national security. But AI is also interacting as well as enabling and unleashing other technological advances, and one of those is autonomy. So from the streets of Austin to the battlefields of Ukraine, AI is giving rise to intelligent and increasingly autonomous systems, whether in the form of driverless cars or drones conducting military missions. These autonomous systems are no longer the work of science fiction. They are here, they're getting better, and they will be increasingly more impactful. So we want to make sure that in this forum, we come up with ideas and exchanges on how we can stay ahead of this trend. 10 years ago, Dr. Carter became the first U.S. Secretary of Defense to visit Silicon Valley in over 20 years. in recognition of the fact that innovative breakthroughs were no longer just happening in government labs, but increasingly were happening in the private sector. Importantly, though, Dr. Carter also realized that Silicon Valley was not the only innovation hub in the United States. So he created the Defense Innovation Unit outpost in Cambridge, Massachusetts, as well as in Austin, Texas. So we're following in those footsteps here, and he had the vision to recognize that Austin was a vital innovation hub in our country. So that's really what drove us to be here and bring this forum to Austin, Texas. And that's really the spirit that drives us at SCSP. So thank you again for joining us. I sincerely hope you'll enjoy today's programming. With that, I would like to invite to stage my friend and former colleague from Pentagon, Julie Park. Julie Park was Dr. Carter's right-hand person for many, many years at the Pentagon, and she knows his legacy the best and his voice and his vision. So she'll share a few remarks, and then we'll have a brief video, and then we'll get into the programming. Thank you again.
It's a great honor to be here in Austin, representing Secretary Ash Carter's family. Dr. Carter devoted his life to service as a scholar, a mentor, and ultimately as the Secretary of Defense, now referred to as the Secretary of War. But beyond titles, he believed deeply in the power of innovation, in the idea that bridging the divide between the Department of War and the private sector was essential to our country's future. I was fortunate to work alongside him for 13 years, and I still remember traveling here to Austin in 2016, the day that he formally announced a DIUX presence at Capitol Factory. On that day, he said, "I created DIUX last year because one of my core goals as Secretary of Defense has been to build, and in some cases rebuild, bridges between our national security endeavor at the Pentagon and America's wonderfully innovative and open technology community." Looking around, it's clear to me that that vision is still being executed on by our colleagues almost a decade later. Yesterday would have been Ash's 71st birthday, and I cannot think of a better way to honor him than by seeing DOW engaging here in Austin and by gathering together to continue the conversations that he started about the future of technology, about collaboration, about innovation in service of our wonderful nation. To the team at SCSP, specifically Eric Schmidt, Ylber, and Ylber, thank you so much for carrying forward his ideals, ensuring his vision continues to live on. And now a brief video to honor Secretary Ash Carter.
There are rare moments when a single vision reshapes an entire system, when the old ways are no longer enough because the future demands more. Dr. Ash Carter saw that moment and he acted with urgency, with clarity, and with an unwavering belief in the power of innovation.
It is his legacy that was so unique and forward-looking that we wanted to continue. The purpose around this event is essentially to honor the notion of innovation in national security.
A true innovator who bridged national security and technological advancement. His establishment of DIU, the Defense Innovation Unit, in 2016 continues to accelerate the fielding of advanced technology to Indo-PACOM today.
This conference and this topic was around the idea that we all needed to have one conversation, that we needed to bring together the best of technologists, scientists, policymakers, practitioners, and academics to really wrestle with what he saw as the defining issue of our time.
Ash Carter was truly a one-of-a-kind public servant. As a student of history, a brilliant physicist, and a mentor to younger leaders, he served presidents of both parties with distinction over more than 3 decades. will always remember the way Ash connected innovation and national security and how he created a new wave of public-private partnerships that are, to this day, making our nation stronger and our service members safer.
Dr. Carter transformed the relationship between the public and private sectors. He knew the stakes. That innovation isn't just about invention, it's about defense, deterrence, and the strength of democracy itself.
The way that Ash leaned forward in developing these new organizations, new units, new ways of thinking about these partnerships was crucial.
He invited entrepreneurs into the halls of defense, and he asked technologists to serve not just markets, but missions.
I worked for Dr. Carter twice. He was committed to and dedicated to the betterment of the Department of Defense and to keeping America safe and to keeping America secure. And that is our secret sauce.
Like the Manhattan Project, like the Apollo program, like Operation Warp Speed. This wasn't incremental change. It was a revolution in how we prepare for tomorrow. This is where that revolution continues. Here, leaders from government, industry, science, and defense come together, not to talk about change, but to drive it.
To be able to have a better relationship with industry where we can turn innovation and ideas into fielded capabilities more rapidly. And I think that is where it starts. When you can't take advantage of the fleeting and frequent technological advantages in front of you, that's where you fall behind as an institution.
Because the threats are real. Cyber warfare, AI, biosecurity, and so is the opportunity.
We are still the premier joint force in the world, and our people and our ability to fight together is still deterring people. The U.S. dominates the tech innovation. The best companies in the world are wholly American, and as long as they come with us on this journey, I feel pretty good about where we're at.
Dr. Carter once said, "Our military excellence is not a birthright. It must be earned, again and again." That's what this is, an act of earning, an act of building, an act of shaping the future before it shapes us. Welcome to the exchange, where innovation meets national security, and where we work, as Ash did, to defend the country and build a better world for the next generation.
Now, please join me in welcoming General James Rainey, Commanding General of the U.S. Army Futures Command, and Ylber Bajraktari, President of SCS.